You are unstoppable when your profile is right.
There are 5 things I want to share with you that make you unstoppable. There are 5 things I want you to focus on, that once you get a hold of them, you are unstoppable. The world might forget you. The world may not even recognize you or even know you were there. The people you know might forget you. And maybe even you yourself can feel you are insignificant in one way. But there are 5 things about your life that you need to focus on and be unstoppable. This is your servant, Pastor Mukesa Fred, here with your thought for today. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a profile that you cannot block. There is a profile that you cannot keep blocking all the time. This is the profile of people God is always looking for. In the previous video, I said God is looking for a certain profile in men. If this profile is you, you will never be resisted. You will never be blocked. Regardless of how long it might take, if this profile is found in you by God, nothing can stop you. The best example is David. Number 1, we realize that even the father of David did not invite him on the D-Day when the great prophet was coming in his home. I am here to tell you that even when your father and your mother, your friends, the people whom you think they are part of you, even when they don't invite you, God can invite you. David was left out on the day that Prophet Samuel was coming to their home. They did not even count him as important for the day. But listen, when your heart is right, it doesn't matter whether people don't recognize you. It doesn't matter whether people don't even think you are worthy being there. When your heart is right before God, the invitation that comes from God himself cannot be blocked. David wasn't invited on the day when the great prophet was coming at their home, but the profile of his heart created a space for him. Let your heart create a space for you where men cannot create a space for you. I love that. Number 2, I want you to see something, my brother, my sister. In the book of Psalms 27 and verse 10, David said, "My mother and my father have forsaken me, but the Lord will take care of me." I think David was referring to that incident when Prophet Samuel came to their house. Listen, your mother that labored to produce you can forget you. Your father that gave you a name can forget you. But listen, when God finds what he's looking for in men, in you, and he can say, "I have found a man after my heart," it doesn't matter whether they left you in the bush. It doesn't matter how long it has taken. When your profile is right before God, space can be created and no man can stand it against you. Ladies and gentlemen, David says his very mother and father forsook him, but God had seen a man in David. God had seen the profile he wants in men, and when he came for him, no one could block the promotion that it was David's. When your heart is right, it doesn't matter who forgot you. It doesn't matter who left you. It doesn't matter what others have not done. When your heart is right, you are unstoppable. Number 3, listen. Men will stand up for you if you can stand or kneel before the Lord. The Bible tells us in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 11 that the prophet said, we will not sit, we will stand until the one God has chosen among us many, much as we did not pick them, much as we did not think they are worth it. He said, we are not going to stand until he's here. Listen, men will stand up for you when you learn to kneel before God, when you learn to seek God in obscurity, where no one is recognizing you, when you work on your profile and make it the one God is looking for. Men will stand up for you like they stood up for David. That moment is always there, that you are unstoppable, to the extent the ones they call great will stand up and they will not be able to refuse. Oh, I love that. Number 4, you have a place in the palace. Whether your father wants, whether your mother wants, whether your siblings want, you have a place in the palace if you are a giant killer. If you can kill bears alone in the bush, if you can kill lions, if you are such an unintimidatable man, that kind that cannot be scared, that kind that cannot be shaken, to the extent you can deal with bears and lions, I assure you, you have a place in the palace, and your time will come. As long as you keep improving your profile, build that profile that you're a giant killer, build that profile that you don't run away from bears and challenges. One of these days you'll be brought to stand in the palace, and no man will be able to block that. Work on your profile, my brother, my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one last thing that you should not forget. Kings will seek your service. You will not serve normal people. Kings will look for your service. They will carry you from the bush and take you to sing for a king because he's demon possessed. That is what happened to David. They carried him from the bush and took him to sing for the king, to be delivered of his problems, because the young man had worked on his profile. This is why I tell people, in the times when things are hard to understand, let us work on our hearts. Let us improve our profile. This is what David did. And in the end, he came to sing for the king straight from the bush. We see men standing up for him as he comes, because he's a man with the right profile. We see God creating a space for him when no one had created a space for him on that day, because he's a man with the right profile. Are you listening to me? Even when the parents have forgotten him, we see him remembered in a special way. My brother, I want to speak to you. Work on your profile. There is something God is looking for in men. He said, I have found a man after my heart. And when he found that man, they stood up for him. He stood before kings. What is this profile? Like I've been saying, it is a profile of courageous people, men that don't fear challenges. If that is your profile, one of these days you will sing for kings. You have a place in the palace. Men will stand up for you. That is why I want to wind up by telling you, focus on improving your profile. Focus on improving your heart. If God can see what the man he's looking for, nothing will stop you. Shall we pray? Father in heaven, we surrender our lives to you and ask you to help us improve our profile. And as we work on our profile, improve our profile, introduce us to the world, speak for us before men. As we stand before you, open doors for us that no man can close, and bless us for the glory of your awesome name. In Jesus' name, work on your profile and nothing will stop you.